The stars were quiet. Captain Ryan Blake sat alone in the small pilot seat of his space shuttle. He looked out the glass window. Space was endless, dark and cold. He had been flying for days after his mission on a nearby moon. Now he was heading back to Earth. But something was wrong. Suddenly, red lights began to flash. The screen in front of him showed warnings: system error, engine failure, collision detected. Before Ryan could react, a large piece of space debris hit the side of the shuttle. The ship shook hard, sparks flew, alarms screamed. Ryan's body slammed against the seat. The shuttle lost control. "Mayday! Mayday! This is Captain Ryan Blake. I'm going down." He shouted, but no one answered. The ship spun faster and faster. A strange blue planet appeared below. It was not on the map. Ryan tried to fix the controls, but the ship was dying. The engine exploded in flames. Then everything went black. Hours later, Ryan opened his eyes. His head hurt. His arms felt heavy. He was lying in a crashed escape pod, half buried in soft purple grass. The air smelled sweet, but it was strange. The sky above was green, and two suns shined from above. This isn't Earth," Ryan whispered. He stood up slowly. His suit was ripped. His water supply was low. The main ship was gone. Only the small pod had made it. He looked around. Tall glowing trees reached into the sky. The leaves were silver and moved even though there was no wind. The ground was soft and warm. Strange birds flew above, but they made no sound. Everything looked too perfect, but it didn't feel safe. Ryan walked toward a small hill. He needed higher ground. He needed to send a signal. He took out his communicator and tried to connect. Signal weak. No connection to Earth, the device said. He was truly alone. Or so he thought. Far away, deep in the glowing forest, they watched him. A group of tall, strong figures stood in silence. Their skin was smooth and had a soft shine. Their hair was silver, and their eyes glowed with light. They were women, fierce, beautiful, and unlike any humans Ryan had seen. They spoke in whispers. "It's a man," one said. "From the sky," said another. "He's the first in many years," the tallest one spoke. Her voice was calm but cold. She wore a robe made of crystal-like cloth. She was the tribe's leader. The tribe had not seen a man in generations. Long ago, they had driven all men away after a terrible war. Since then, their land was ruled only by women. And now one had returned. The leader raised her hand. "Do not speak to him yet. Watch him. See what kind of creature he is. He may be danger, or he may be hope." The women melted back into the shadows. Ryan never saw them. As the sun began to set, the sky turned purple. Ryan built a small fire near the crash site. He roasted a piece of alien plant he found, hoping it was safe to eat. He stared into the fire, thinking, "How did I get here?" He said to himself, "Where am I? And what now?" In the dark, something moved. A soft crunch in the grass. Ryan stood up quickly. He picked up a sharp metal rod from the wreckage. "Who's there?" He shouted. But no one answered. The sound stopped. Ryan turned around slowly, but saw only trees. He sat down again, but he could feel it. He was not alone. Eyes were watching him. That night, as Ryan slept under the stars, the alien tribe moved closer. They studied his face, his body, his tools. They spoke quietly. "His heart is strong," one said. "He is not like the others," another whispered. "But still he is a man," the leader nodded. "We will test him." At sunrise, Ryan opened his eyes. Something was wrong. The fire was out. His tools were gone. His communicator was missing. Before he could move, glowing ropes wrapped around him from all sides. He struggled, but they were too strong. He was trapped. Figures stepped out of the trees. Alien women. All of them. They looked at him with curious eyes. One reached out and touched his face. Ryan froze. "Who are you?" he asked. The leader stepped forward. She looked at him and spoke in a slow, strange voice. Are you healer or curse? Ryan didn't understand, but the look in her eyes told him one thing. This was only the beginning. The ropes glowed softly around Ryan's arms as he sat on the strange ground. His eyes moved from one figure to the next. All women, all watching him. None of them spoke, their faces calm, their eyes glowing, their weapons strange and sharp. He wanted to speak, but his voice stayed inside his throat. He was not afraid, he was confused. They led him through the forest. The trees were tall and shining like silver glass. Strange animals made no sound. Everything felt alive, but nothing made noise. Only footsteps on soft ground. The alien women walked in a perfect line, like they had done this before, like they had captured outsiders before. Ryan wondered if he was the first, or just the first in a long time. As they reached a stone gate covered in green light, the tallest woman raised her hand. The gate opened. Without a sound, inside was a village, unlike anything Ryan had ever seen. The buildings were made from living trees, shaped with care, carved by hands that knew nature deeply. No metal, no wires, yet everything moved. Lights floated in the air like fireflies. Children ran between the homes, all of them girls. Ryan saw no men, not one, only women watching him silently from windows, from rooftops, from the trees. They took him to a small stone platform. He stood in the center, tied and tired, but alert. The crowd gathered. The leader raised her voice. It echoed without echo. Her words were not human, but somehow Ryan began to understand. Not with ears, but with something deeper. She asked a question, not with sound, but with feeling. Why are you here? Ryan opened his mouth, but didn't know what to say. I don't know. I didn't choose this. I crashed. I survived. I'm lost. She looked at him. He looked at her. A moment passed, long, strange, heavy. Another woman stepped forward. Younger, her eyes softer. Her name was Isla. She touched his arm. He did not pull away. She spoke slowly, trying words from another world. Man. From sky. Ryan nodded. She looked at the crowd, then at him. Last man, long ago. She drew a line in the air. A fire appeared. A picture formed. It showed a time when men walked in this place. Men with weapons, men with fire, men with power. Then screams, then silence, then only women. Ryan watched and understood. Men once lived here, then men ruined everything. Now men were not welcome. He stepped back, felt guilt, felt fear, not for himself, but for what his kind had done. But Ayla looked at him again, but with something else, curiosity, hope, maybe even kindness. The leader spoke again. We must test him. Ryan's heart raced. They untied him, but kept their weapons close. He was free, but not trusted. Not yet. They gave him water, sweet and warm. They gave him food, strange fruit that glowed softly. Ayla sat with him, spoke more words, simple words. Home, peace, fear, truth. Ryan listened, then tried to speak. He pointed to the sky. My ship. He drew a line falling. Crash. Isla nodded, understood, but others were not so kind. Some women watched him with hard eyes. They remembered the war. They remembered the lies. As night came, they gave him a place to rest, a small open room under a tree. He lay down, closed his eyes, but sleep did not come. He could feel it. Eyes watching, not with hate, but with worry, and maybe something more in the shadows. The leader spoke to another. He is different, but so were the first men before they turned, before they burned. We watch, we wait, we see his truth. High above, the sky was full of stars, but one star blinked. It was not a star, it was something else watching back, listening and sending a signal. Ryan was not the only one lost. Something else had found him, but it had not yet arrived. The sun rose slow and wide over the alien sky. Ryan opened his eyes to the soft light pouring through the crystal leaves above. The room was quiet but not empty. Ayla stood near the doorway watching him sleep. She held something in her hands, a bowl. Steam rose from it like dancing ghosts. She stepped forward and placed it near him. Her voice was gentle. Eat, then trial. Ryan sat up. His back ached. His mind still spinning from yesterday. He remembered the fire, the ropes, the eyes, the story in the air. Now a trial. He didn't know what they would ask, what they would test, or what they would decide. He ate slowly. The food was soft, sweet, alive somehow. Then Isla gave him a long look. Not cold, not warm, just steady. Come. The way he followed her into the village center, the same stone platform, the same silent crowd. More people this time, women of all ages, all watching, all waiting, all remembering the past. The leader stood on the edge of the circle. She raised her arm. 3 steps forward. Ryan obeyed. He stood in the middle alone. She spoke without speaking. Her voice came like a thought in his bones. Trial begins. First came the test of strength. A large warrior stepped forward, her body strong like steel, her eyes narrow like blades. She threw a stone, the size of Ryan's chest, across the circle. It landed hard. She pointed at him. Now Ryan took a breath, lifted the stone. It was heavy, but he did not break. He used his legs, his arms, his will, and threw it with all his power. It did not go far. It moved. The crowd made a sound, a small ripple of surprise. He was not weak. Next came the test of mind. A strange box was placed before him. Inside it were shifting lights, shapes, symbols, a puzzle that moved on its own. Ayla came close. Solve or fail. Ryan stared at the box, tried to see the pattern. His fingers moved, his eyes followed. Click, slide, glow. The box opened. A light burst out, soft and blue. The crowd gasped. The elder looked at Ayla. He learns fast. Then came the test of heart. A young child from the village was brought forward, scared, shy. She was made to drop a sharp crystal knife right near Ryan's foot. He stepped back, but slowly knelt, picked it up, and gave it back with both hands. No threat, only care. The child smiled, ran back to her mother. The leader stepped forward. Her voice came again. You are strong, you are smart, you are gentle. But her face changed. Her tone grew colder. Men before you were all these things too, and still they burned our world. She raised her hand. A giant screen of light formed above them. It showed the past. Men from Earth, big machines, guns, fire control, women in chains, villages in smoke. Ayla looked away. So did many others. Ryan stood still, watched, felt shame. Then the screen faded. The leader spoke one last time. Are you like them, or are you new? Ryan took a step forward. He placed his hand on his chest. I am not them. I come in peace. I am alone, but I do not bring harm. The leader said nothing. She turned and walked away. The crowd broke. Some nodded, some frowned, some whispered. Ayla stayed beside him. Trial over. Ryan looked at the sky, at the 2 suns, and wondered what comes next. Behind the trees, in a hidden cave, a metal device lit up, flashing quietly. It was not alien, it was human, and it was waiting. Asterisk. The night was not still. The stars above blinked too fast. The forest whispered secrets that even the wind could not hear. Ryan could not sleep. He lay in the round shelter of leaves and light, eyes open, heart awake. He had passed their trial, but not their trust. Some smiled at him, some stared like he carried poison in his blood. He knew the feeling of danger. This place breathed it from behind the branches. Ayla appeared, her step soft, her face unreadable. She held a small cloth in her hand. Inside it was his communicator. Broken, but not lost. You hide this. Why? She asked. Ryan sat up slowly. It sends signal to Earth to help to home. Ayla looked at the black sky, then back at him. No one comes, not here, not now. He nodded. But hope never dies. Suddenly a sharp sound cracked in the distance. Not thunder, not nature, something metal, something loud. Ayla's eyes widened. She ran toward the sound. Ryan followed. They moved fast between the trees. The light shifted as they passed the jungle, alive and watching. They reached a clearing. A young girl from the tribe was cornered. A strange creature stood over her. Tall, insect-like, skin like stone, eyes like glass. It hissed. Ryan did not wait. He grabbed a thick branch, charged, yelled, struck the creature's side. The girl escaped. The creature turned, claws raised. Ryan braced for pain. But before it struck, Ayla pulled a glowing spear from her back. She threw it with fire in her hand. It hit the beast's chest. The creature fell, smoke rising from its body. The forest went silent again. Ayla looked at Ryan. You saved her. You fight like you. Breathed hard. Looked at his burned hand, felt something shift. The girl was safe. The danger was real. And they had seen it together back in the village the tribe gathered. They had watched from the trees. They had seen the leader step forward, spoken voice light. He did not run. He faced death. He protected one of ours. Many nodded, but not all. A figure in the shadows whispered to another, "He is strong, too strong. We need him, but not awake later that." Knight Ryan sat near the soft fire, Isla beside him. They shared water, they shared silence, they shared eyes. She asked, "Do all men fight for others?" He answered, "No, but I do." She smiled, a small one, like a secret blooming, but far beyond the trees, in a silent cave. A hand moved over old stone. A screen lit up. A signal blinked. Message received. A ship, dark, massive, moved through space, not from Earth, not from this world, but coming back. In the village, Ryan stood alone at the edge of the forest, the sky above him bright with 2 moons. He held the broken communicator. He thought about Earth, about home, about this strange perilous. Stepped beside him. "Do you want to leave?" He looked at her. "Not now." She nodded. "Then come, we have more to show." But from behind in the shadows, a pair of eyes watched, cold, hidden, planning. Ryan was no longer just a guest. He was a key, and someone wanted to turn that key. The night wind was heavy. It carried more than air. It carried memories. It carried warning. Ryan followed Ayla through the quiet paths of the village. Not many were awake. Only a few glowing lights moved in the air above them, like stars that forgot the sky. She walked without words, her face calm, but her hands tight closed, like holding something invisible. They reached an ancient stone gate, covered in moss and light. Ayla placed her palm on the surface. It opened slowly, with a sound like a breath held too long inside. The air was thick. The walls were full of old symbols, carved deep stories trapped in rock. Ryan stepped inside. He felt it, something old, something waiting. Jayla spoke softly. "This is the room of echo. Our truth lives here." She touched the wall. It lit up. A screen rose from the ground. Not glass, not metal, something living, but ancient images appeared, not just seen but felt long ago. The tribe was not only women. There were men, fathers, brothers, sons. They came from another star, the same world. Ryan knew Earth at first. There was peace. They taught, they built, they grew together, but slowly things changed. Orders came from above, from Earth, from power. The men were told to take control, to lead, to own, to claim. Some refused, some obeyed. Then came fire, chains, fear. The women fought back, led by a warrior named Solon, Ayla's great ancestor. She rose not with weapons, but with voice, with heart. She united the broken, and they pushed the invaders out. Ayla's voice cracked. They destroyed every man who stayed. They burned the bridges to Earth. They promised never again. Ryan stood silent, the truth heavy in his chest. Ayla looked at him, eyes soft but guarded. "Now you are the first since that time." He took a step back. "I am not like them." She nodded. "I believe you, but belief is not enough." She handed him a crystal, cold blue, full of light. "This holds memory from Solon to the next man who comes." She never hated men, only what they became. Ryan closed his fingers around it. The crystal pulsed like a heartbeat. Outside the cave, a dark shape moved in the jungle. Not human, not tribe, a shadow with metal skin, watching, waiting. Back in the village, the leader stood alone, staring at the stars. Whispers from the wind reached her ears, old codes, forgotten signals. Someone has come. Not just Ayla stepped out from the cave, her face uncertain. "We are not ready." He is not ready, but time does not wait, and neither does fate. Ryan looked up at the sky, where a star was falling, too fast, too sharp, too silent. Something was coming, and it remembered this planet very well. Asterisk. The wind changed. It smelled like metal. It tasted like storms. Ryan woke before the suns, sweat on his forehead, breath sharp, heart unsuri. Allah stood at the door, her eyes already watching the sky. One star was not moving, not blinking, not real. She spoke without turning. "Something is here. Not from us, not from you. Something older, darker." Ryan stepped outside. The village was quiet, too quiet. Even the trees had stopped moving. They went to the edge, where the jungle met the stone. There, in the distance, a shape stood in the sky. Sharp, black, cold. A ship, not large, but not friendly. Ayla whispered, "I know this shape, from the old stories, from the memory crystal." They called them the Watchers, not gods, not demons, collectors of life, of power of men. Ryan's hands clenched. Why now? Why here? Ayla looked at him. Because you are here, back in the village. The council gathered, elders in robes of light and bark, faces carved by time, voices full of weight. One of them, tall, eyes dark, spoke louder than the others. He should leave. He brings old eyes upon us. Another one answered, he saved one of ours. He fought beside us. The tall one looked at Ayla. Or he is the first step, the key they've waited for. Ryan felt their fear and their doubt. He opened his mouth, but before he could speak, a loud crack echoed from the jungle. Something had landed. A scout, not big but strong. It walked with legs like blades. It scanned the ground, then turned toward the village. The elders rose. One of them reached for a staff, but the tall one held her back. Let it come. Let it see. Ryan stepped forward. We have to stop it. We have to hide the people. But the tall elder smiled. We will not hide. We will trade. Silence. Aelin fast. What do you mean? The elder walked toward Ryan. Close, too close. We send him back. We give him to them. Maybe they leave. Ryan stepped back, shock in his chest. He looked at Ayla. She was frozen, eyes wide, mouth trembling. She whispered, you would betray him after all. This the elder said nothing. Ayla grabbed Ryan's arm. Run. They moved fast through trees, through light. The jungle welcomed them, but not far behind. Voices rose. Chasers came, not many, just enough. Ryan held Ayla's hand. They reached the hidden cave where the memory crystal once glowed. Now something else waited. A second beacon, small but alive. It blinked red. Ryan stopped. This is mine. From the ship, from the crash. He picked it up. It spoke. Signal found. Ship approaching, not Earth. Ayla looked at him. Then, at the cave walls, a door opened, not with hands, but with his voice. Inside, metal weapons. Data, not alien, but human. Ryan's eyes widened. We were here before, long ago, very long ago. Ayla touched the wall. Your people left behind, their ghosts behind them. A sound, footsteps, and a whisper. You should not have found this. They turned. The elder stood there, weapon in hand, but it was not aimed at Ryan. It was aimed at Ayla. Have chosen wrong, she said. But Ayla stepped forward, her voice strong. No, I have chosen different. The weapon fired, but not toward them. The wall beside them exploded from the smoke. Something stepped out. Not human, not tribe, tall, dark, mechanical eyes glowing red. The real enemy had arrived. The dust hung in the air like frozen time. The silence after the blast felt louder than the blast itself. Ryan stood still, his breath stuck between fear and decision. Ayla reached for him, her hand shaking but sure. Before them, the machine moved slow, heavy, built for war, not thought, not mercy. Its eyes locked on Ryan, voice deep like thunder. Trapped in a cage. Target found. Organic key confirmed. Ryan stepped back, not from fear, but from memory. He had seen this tech in Earth's archives, abandoned, lost, classified, but not forgotten. The elders had lied. Earth had not been pushed away. Earth had pulled back, quietly, but left behind something hungry. A machine meant to conquer, to control, to collect data and flesh. The red glow pulsed brighter. It did not speak again. It attack it. Ayla screamed. Ryan grabbed her, rolled behind the fallen beam. The heat from the machine's weapon burned the ground where they stood seconds before. Ryan looked up. The cave walls trembled. Old systems woke up. Lights flickered. Screens turned on. A console blinked blue, alive. It called to him. He ran to it, placed his hand down. Voice scan accepted. Welcome, Captain Blake. Ayla stared at him. You were meant for this. He shook his head. I was lost, not chosen. The console gave him a choice: override or launch. Escape. He could stop the machine, but stay trapped, or escape, but leave the tribe behind. Ayla stood beside him, her voice quiet. They need you, but I will not ask you to die for us. The machine broke through the stone. Its steps shook the earth. Ryan looked into Ayla's eyes. He remembered Earth, its rules, its silence, its war. He remembered this tribe, its music, its pain, its fire. He pressed the screen. Override engaged. The room lit up. The walls turned into circuits. The machine froze. Its glow faded. Its voice glitched. Command overridden by organic core. Then silence. Battle ended, not with blood, but with choice. The tribe gathered hours later. They saw the smoke, the broken stone, but also saw. Ryan standing alive, he looked different, not in body, but in eyes. He had stayed. Ayla walked to him. No words, only hands. The elder who betrayed them, gone, banished. The people sang that night, not in joy, but in memory of pain, of healing, of new beginnings. Ryan stood on the hill, looked at the stars. His ship was gone, his past was far, his future here. He whispered to the wind, I was lost. Now I'm home and above in the quiet black of space. The stars watched and stayed silent.